that is more like our Toronto Maple Leafs that we've seen all year long. They lay a beatdown on the Montreal Canadiens, 5-1 at Scotiabank Arena, and even up the series at 1 game apiece. Lots of storylines in today's game. The Leafs power play gets going. You know you're going to hear Habs versus refs. I'll get to that in a little bit because I think that's hilarious, right? I think it's flippin' hilarious. Now, we'll talk about that in a bit. But coming into the game today, I heard yesterday, I think it was on the radio or it's on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and I saw it in the comment section, by a Habs fan, that is your picture-perfect playoff game. A 2-1 win when the other team loses their captain and has no motivation, no mojo, no nothing. And they're all drained mentally, emotionally, nothing there. And they lose 2-1. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? That's true. Great to hear John Tavares all right. He's at home. He avoided any sort of extremely serious injury, the concussion, and I think it was the leg injury that he had. But other than that, he seems all right. And I'm like, that is beautiful to hear. His message that he's going to be watching these games and cheering on our boys in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And he's definitely talked to the fellas. So they got to be fired up at this point. They went from absolutely emotionally distraught because they don't know what's going to happen with their captain in game 1. Now they probably hear from him, talk to him. He probably gives the post-game pre-game damn speech, man, possibly. And you knew you were going to see a different Leafs team in this game. Now, it didn't start great. 7:57 in, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, he didn't play game 1, goes out there in game 2 and scores his first goal in like 20-odd games, putting the Habs in front 1-0 early. Not where the Leafs want to be sitting at this point, and a horrendous defensive breakdown on that goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Look, you always hear just get the puck on the net, and the Habs did so. They fired it on the point, got the one shot, got another shot, and the Leafs, I don't know, Justin Hall was kind of scrambling and didn't take his man in front, Kotkaniemi, and he buries it past Campbell to give the Habs a 1-0 lead, 7:57 into the first period. Literally not what you want to be sitting at in the first period. 5 minutes after that, however, Zach Bogosian behind the Montreal Canadiens net. I don't get to say that very often. And he centers the puck. It looks like it's to Wayne Simmonds, but Jason Spezzik makes a beeline to the net right off the bench, and he picks up he literally stands right in front of Simmonds. He skates past him, and Simmonds is ready to wire this one. And Spezzik steps in front of him, grabs the puck, and rips it past Carey Price. It was under the glove or blocker, whatever side it was. I think it was blocker side or glove side. Either way, it beat Carey Price, and the Leafs have tied the game at 1. Zach Bogosian grabs the lone assist on that goal at 12:25 of the first period. And from that moment on, it's just like it felt like such a different Leafs team. They were down 1-0. They weren't really playing with any sort of pace. And that Spezza goal just kind of lit the fire under the Leafs. And they just started going. End of the first period. It's a 1-1 game. You beat Carey Price already. All right, good stuff. You got to find a way to keep going. He made some big saves in that first period, keeping it a 1-1 game. But in the second period, you always hear, right? You do hear the phrase low shot rebound. You got to get that low shot, hit the pad of the goalie and have them kick it out in front. Well, Justin Hall was coming down on an odd man rush with Austin Matthews, and he rips it low side on Carey Price. He kicks it out. Problem, he kicks it right to Austin Matthews, and he buries it past Carey Price at 5:15 of the second period. Matthews get the goal from Justin Hall and Mitch Marner, and the Leafs have their first lead of the game and first lead of the series. The mojo is back, and the Leafs are feeling good, all right? Let's keep this thing going here, okay? On a power play, right? Matthews enters the zone. You all think he's going to rip the shot, right? He's coming down full speed, kind of toe drags it back, and he kind of does a nice little move to get on the backhand, passes it across to Marner. The defense is in shambles. In comes Rasmus Sandin, the Sandman coming in hot from the point on a rush. Marner puts it on a silver platter, and he walks into it and blasts it like 98 miles an hour. He got every bit of that. Did Rasmus Sandin, and it beats Carey Price to give the Leafs a 3-1 lead. And Hab fans, you ready for me to break down these penalties? Because I'm going to keep hearing Habs versus refs, Habs versus refs. Well, the Leafs had 5 power plays. The Habs had 1. Well, could they have called more for the Leafs? Yeah, they definitely could have. There was definitely the Hyman one, you probably could have called that one. But there were also calls from the Habs you could have called and they didn't call. I understand. There's always going to be those minuscule things that you can say, man, he should have called that, you could have called that, could have called that, could have called that. It's also playoff hockey, right? One of them was Gallagher, and I think it was TJ Brody in front of the net kind of battling, and Gallagher gets his stick up, hits Brody the butt end in the face, up comes Brody's stick and hits him in the face after the fact, I guess. And Gallagher gets the one penalty. Was it a high stick? It was. Could they have sent both? Possibly. Leafs don't score on the power play. Whatever. Doesn't matter. The third period power play, Engvall knocks down Shea Weber. All right? Everyone's going to be like, what, you hit from behind? What kind of... Pierre Engvall knocked down Shea Weber. That's like saying Mitch Marner knocked down Zdeno Chara. Not to the extent, obviously. It's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's something along those lines. He didn't crush him. He just knocked him over. About 10 seconds later, right, puck's still in the zone. In comes Engvall around the bottom of the circle, and Weber goes two hands, cross-check to the top of the chest, knocks down Engvall. And I'm like, Shea, what are you doing? That's clearly a penalty. They call it. But let's get to the one that I think, having said, well, 5 power plays, the one that's ridiculous. Well, one of your power plays was your coach's damn fault. Oh my God. I thought that was hilarious. Ducharme, after the Sandin goal, is like, or you see Bergevin up in the press box, right? He's like, oh, it's clearly a penalty. That's clearly goalie interference. I'm like, on what planet? Ducharme is like, yeah, we're gonna challenge that. I'm like, haha, you're nuts. All right. Obviously, it was not goalie interference. It took them a lot longer than I thought. But Joe Thornton's stick was in the vicinity. Maybe he poked Gary Price maybe a tad bit, but I'm like, did it impede him to make a save? No, not even close. I mean, it's one of the worst challenges I think I've seen in a long time. And you know what happens if you lose a challenge? You give the other team a power play. And that's what happened. So yes, the Leafs had 5 power plays, but one of them is literally your coach's fault. So as much as, Habs versus Refs, no, it's Habs versus Habs on that play. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was a ridiculous coach's challenge. It was an awful challenge. And the goal stands, of course. Sandin gets the goal in the power play. Matthews and Marner grab assists at 13-20, and they've got a 3-1 lead. They finally score a flipping power play goal, and they're feeling all kinds of mojo. We go into the third period, still having that 3-1 lead. You got to close this game out strong. The Leafs get another power play. That was the Shea Weber one I was talking about. And then a beautiful shot from Austin Matthews from his office. Rips it off the post, but it comes out to Nylander, who rips it past Carey Price. You see what happens. When you don't try and be pretty, you just grip it and you rip it. Matthews grips it, rips it, rings it off the post. What does Willie do? He could have tried, there's a lot of bodies in front, so he could have tried to pass it across and look for a better shot. Instead, he's like, screw it, I'm just going to step into it and let it rip. And he does, and he buries it on the power play. Matthews and Riley grab assists in the goal at 8:50, and the Leafs are up 4-1 over the Montreal Canadiens. They've scored 2 power play goals. I think actually, did they have 6 power plays? Well, technically, the fiasco late in the game was technically a power play, but because of the hit from behind, which was literally numbers, cross-check, boom, right into the boards, as textbook as you can possibly get. So there's another one, if you want to look at Habs versus Refs. I thought it was just that the Leafs, even 5-on-5, they dominated possession time. They dominated the offensive zone. I thought putting Kotkaniemi was going to give them the more skill. Yeah, he scored a goal, but the Leafs just flat out dominated today. Shots on goal were 34-23 in favor of the Leafs today. 2 for 6 in the power play. They had the 1 power play. They didn't score on that 1 power play. And a big number that I saw in the comments, and I look back and I'm like, very, very good, very, very good observation. The hits in the last game were so damn lopsided, it was crazy. Now, obviously, the Leafs didn't have any sort of energy or mojo to do anything in that game. And today, you saw a much different Leaf team. The hits were 44-36 in favor of Montreal. And you know what? I'll take that any day. It didn't look like the Leafs were shying away from any hits. They were throwing the body around. They did a great job. And look, Leaf fans, look, let me talk to Leaf fans for a second. I know the Habs fans are going to hate Simmonds. They're going to hate, Joe Thornton for getting under the skin. Leaf fans, don't we love those guys? I mean, come on. Like, watching Simmonds go after Edmondson early in the game and say, all right, I'll see you later on. Then he gives him the hack, right, in the latter part of the game. Then they go attacking each other. Then Simmonds gives him a shot, and I'm just like, this is beautiful. This is the agitator, not like suspendable. Nazem Kadri, yeah, we'll get, Not suspendable, but we're going to get under your skin and be a Brendan Gallagher right now, right? Get under, because look, have fans, Gallagher would never do that. Did you see him almost run Jack Campbell late in the game? He literally made a beeline and fell, like, as he was going right at the net, he fell, almost went right into Jack Campbell. So don't give me that nonsense. But Wayne Simmonds, Scarborough boy, Toronto native, and he's throwing his body around like an absolute nut job, and I love it. Leaf fans, I noticed that on Twitter, Instagram, comment sections everywhere, that everyone was getting on Rasmus Sandin and Joe Thornton in the last game. Can we all sit here and agree that those two guys tonight looked very good? Did Joe Thornton, did he do anything spectacular? No. But he made some small plays to help the team along, and like, he's your fourth line guy. Like, what do you expect from him, right? And Rasmus Sandin, on the power play, he's good there. Not only did he have the shot, but the way he was keeping the puck alive, moving the puck around, making things happen at the point, you really like that from Rasmus Sandin. 21 years old, and he's out there making plays like that. You love to see it from the Sandman, Rasmus Sandin. All right, Jack Campbell, look, I don't even have the soup can. Imagine the soup can right beside my face, because he gets his first career playoff victory, does Jack Campbell. 1 goal on 23 shots. Doesn't really face any crazy opportunities from the Habs. There was a lot of, one-and-done shots. Other than the goal from Kotkaniemi where they had 3 whacks at it, it was a lot of one-and-done. And that's great on his part, his rebound control and where he's putting those rebounds, and the Leafs D-core for not allowing anything else to happen after the one shot other than the goal. So, it was a great job defensively from the Leafs, only allowing the 23 shots. Yes, having 6 power plays does have a lot of time involved, but 23 shots on net, you have to take 1 penalty, you allow 1 goal, and the Habs have scored a total of 3 goals in these 2 games. So the Leafs have not been a bad defensive team. The 2 breakaways in the last game, they didn't allow anything crazy offensive, on the offensive standpoint from the Montreal Canadiens there today. Great job. Austin Matthews with a 3-point night, a goal and 2 assists. Nylander with a goal and an assist, and Marner with those 2 assists. The 3-headed monster that we've been seeing throughout their growth through the minors and into the NHL. It's finally paying off. 3 points for Matthews, 2 for Nylander, and 2 for Marner. Game 3 at the Bell Center. All right, that goes on Monday night. It's a 7 p.m. puck drop as the Leafs look to take a 2-1 series lead and ride this momentum into Game 3. Now, if I'm Bergevin, and I'm Ducharme, Cole Caulfield plays Game 3. You've scored 3 goals in 2 games. You need somebody who can put the puck in the net. That guy has shown that he can do it. And I can't see why they would not put him. If they don't, I will be absolutely shocked. But you know what I would say? I don't care. Because the Toronto Maple Leafs got a W. And then they evened up the series at 1 game apiece. And look, the Habs didn't look right tonight. The Leafs did a great job crowding everything. You didn't see a lot of Josh Anderson. You didn't see a lot of Tyler Toffoli. Brendan Gallagher, you usually see a lot of. You didn't see much of him at all tonight. The Leafs did a great job limiting almost all of the Montreal Canadiens to basically no opportunities. And I got to give these guys a ton of credit. They were getting under the skin of the Habs all night long. Whether it was putting the goals up, whether it was drawing penalties, or whether it was just being agitators, they were out there putting in work. And I love it. I absolutely love it. The nonsense we saw from Simmonds and all these guys, they started doing that later in the game once you had the game locked up. They weren't doing it in a 1-1 game to possibly get a penalty call. They were playing smart. And I love what I saw tonight from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and enjoyed the game there this evening, because, oh yeah, it was fun to watch. Smack the like button if you appreciate that. Hit that subscribe button if you've not done so already, guys. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the game. What'd you like, what'd you not like from today's game for the Toronto Maple Leafs? I don't know what you can't like from today's game. Twitter is down below for myself. Follow, send me a DM, do that great stuff. The Instagram link is down below, so follow up there if you have not done so already, guys. And I will talk to you, Jays Nation, very shortly as they're down 2-1 to Tampa. We'll talk to you post-game then. And as for the Leafs, Game 3 against the Habs goes Monday, 7 p.m. at the Bell Center in Montreal as the Buds look for a 2-1 series lead, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk to you guys on Monday night.